Hey everyone, welcome back to Bird Talk with Terrence Mathis. I'm William Brandon. Please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel Atlanta Sports Unlimited and turn on your notifications so you don't miss an episode. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. It's the simplest fantasy sports game on the market. You can get it at the Apple Play Store and the Google Play Store. I said Apple Store and the Google Play Store. It's very simple, and you can go on there and cross-pollinate, I guess you could say. Like, I can pick from this week's Falcons-Dolphins game, as well as pick from the Hawks-Mavericks game. So I can pick players from different sports and whatnot. But check it out. Make sure you use the initials ASU. That's for Atlanta Sports Unlimited. Make sure you use that code. And also, Prize Picks will 100% match your initial offer up to $100. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get to the business at hand. The Falcons are back on this week. It's been a great week in Atlanta sports, so they're going to have to keep up with the rest of these teams, Terrence, and they're going to have to come out with a good showing on Sunday. Go ahead.
You're right, but I think to their advantage is they've had a week off. They had a week to prepare for the Dolphins. I got a chance to see them play in London. The other advantage they have is, Dolphins is really coming off a short week because it's a long flight home whatsoever. So they probably had, Monday, Tuesday off, and then getting ready to play the Falcons on Sunday. Now, here's the thing. Here's a chance for the Falcons to take a deep breath and says, okay, I think I know who we are. After the last 3 games, I think I know who we are. And this is who this Atlanta Falcons team is. Offensively, they have to throw the ball to win a football game. And then they mix in the run a little bit just to move the chains, to keep people honest. But you have to run. You have to be able to throw the football in the National Football League to be successful. That's how these teams are winning. Secondly is defensively, you have to take chances and you have to put pressure on the quarterback. And then you just have to not make any mistakes special teams wise. And your chances of winning is higher than what it was, in the first couple of weeks of the season. So I'm excited about them coming off a bye week playing the Dolphins, a team that's trying to find their identity, with their quarterback, even though he had a good game in London against the Jaguars. He's back. Here's what I'm saying. If I'm the coach, just because Tua is struggling, he's been struggling since he came into the league. Don't think that he's not a quality quarterback that can beat you, because he can. And that's what you gotta guard from them letting their guards down, thinking, oh, this Dolphins team can't beat us with Tua. Because we know if the kid couldn't play, he would be in the NFL, and he wouldn't be a starting quarterback in the NFL. He's a professional also.
Absolutely. And you brought up a good point. The Dolphins, they did, like the Falcons previous week, they played in London against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, yeah, that's, they got to come back home and get back acclimated to their normal time zone, and then play a game on Sunday, which is down in Miami Gardens. See how I said Miami Gardens and not Miami?
Yeah.
They're not really in Miami.
No.
The Falcons-Dolphins, Miami leads that series 9-4. I'm not going to talk about Terrence's Jets days when he played Miami, but he did play in 3 of the games with the Falcons against the Dolphins. And one of them was back in 95. Do you remember that one? Y'all lost by 1 point. You had 3 catches, 40 yards, and a touchdown. Y'all had the lead, and they ended up coming back.
You know what? I don't remember that, but at the end of the day, you try not to remember those ones that you lose.
Yeah. And then the 98, it was almost like the last, close to the end of the season. It was December 27th. Yeah, y'all won that one.
Yeah, that was a big game for us. That was a really, really big game. We played well in that game, and that just continued the streak going of 11 straight going into the Super Bowl. So, those games in '98 you remember because you was an NFC champion.
Yeah.
You was division champions, NFC champions, and played in the Super Bowl. So you remember most of those games. And honestly, we only lost 2 that year. So it was one of those things. You remember the losses, but they didn't matter because you won 14 of them.
Well, I'm glad to know that, because sometimes, me, even as a fan, we're going by 18 years now to the games. Some of those losses are a blur.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
those memorable wins, but
yeah,
so
yeah,
those losses,
yeah,
I look back and like,
yeah,
what? They
yeah,
lost like that?
yeah, yeah, exactly. You try to forget those, and that, you know what, and that, William, that goes about. We can talk about this year's team. We can talk
Mhm,
about teams in the past, but you got to have a short term memory when you play in the NFL. You
mhm.
can't, wins or losses, you got to let that go. And you got to, each game, it's its own game.
Yeah.
It's one game. You always hear one game at a time. That is true to the fullest because you can't think about the past game and you can't think about the next game. You got to think about the one that you're about to play on Sunday, and that's the only game that matters for you.
And that's the thing. The Falcons have had since, what, a week now to prepare for the Dolphins, more than a week. So hopefully they have everything buttoned up on these guys because this is a game that we spoke about that they should
Yeah,
have a W
yeah,
beside.
right. And then Calvin Ridley is supposed to be back in practice this week,
Yep.
which is a good thing. There's more weapons for Matt Ryan. Let's see how that goes. Um, you know, I hope everything is okay uh, with his personal situation that he had, and ready to play football because it's going to be a long time before the next bye, and we got to look. It's up for grabs right now. The only team in the division that's really trying to run away with it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it's just amazing what Tom Brady is doing. Oh, at his age. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. You show me a great quarterback or a above average quarterback or very, very good quarterback, I show you perimeter guys around him that are just as good.
I was just going to ask you because me and my buddies were having this conversation about Tom Brady, and one of my friends was saying that Tom Brady, he's what he's doing is amazing, which it is, and another friend
Mm-hmm.
was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Well, if you put, let's say, Lamar Jackson or another quarterback with those weapons,
Mm-hmm.
then it may be the same because he has a lot of talent,
Right.
top tier talent around him,
Right.
including that line."
Right. 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 And that's the thing. And you look at a lot of quarterbacks and you can go back to his even his earlier days with the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
You people say, well, he didn't have great receivers. Yes, he did. He had some really, really good receivers. Remember, he played with Randy Moss that year. They went undefeated. He had some really good
Mm-hmm.
receivers. It's just later in those years with the Patriots that guys were getting older, guys left, and they was trying to just plug in things and thinking it was their system
Mm-hmm.
that was making them great and not the quarterback. And they looking at it right now is here's the thing. Matt Jones has more weapons around him than Tom Brady had last year he had in the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
So Mac Jones is playing at a high level because he has dudes around him. You wanted the Patriots wanted Tom Brady to just pull some magic out of his hat, with the talent he had around him. But in Tampa, he made sure he got what he needed and what he wanted to be successful. And and let's transition to what we're talking about, quarterbacks in the
Mm-hmm.
NFL. If you're People say, oh, defense wins championships and defense wins games. Okay, yeah. But the defense can stop every team from scoring. But if you don't score offensively, you don't win a game.
Correct.
So defense gonna help you win championships, but they don't win them by themselves. And in today's NFL, you have to have a quality quarterback behind the center to win football games. We we can. Where do you want me to start? We're gonna start with the hottest quarterback in the NFL right now, and that's Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, he's playing lights out. If you watch that, what game was that? Sunday night game?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, what a game! He down 22 points. I mean, he scored 22 straight, excuse me, to win in overtime. You look at Patrick Mahomes, what he did on Sunday in the second half. Look at Herbert in with the Chargers, even though they got beat. You look at Matthew Stafford, what he's doing in LA. You're looking at Tom Brady. You even look at Jameson Winston, what he's doing in New Orleans, and
Mm-hmm.
then you look at them teams like Seattle. Russell Wilson goes down. their play goes down.
Yeah.
So if you think the quarterback position is not important, look at those teams that are losing. Look at Cleveland. Cleveland got all that talent around them. And yeah, I'm not saying Baker Mayfield is a bust or he can't play, but right now he's not playing. He's not taking that level. He's not taking that talent to the level where they need to go. And I seen something interesting just today.
Mhm.
They had uh, the Jones kid at the Giants, and they had Kirk Cousins rated above Matt Ryan. And I was like, you
What?
got to be kidding me. I said, Matt Ryan and this Atlanta Falcons deep offense and team is the most disrespected team in the NFL over the last 3 or 4 years. And I know winning, losing plays a part in that, but Matt Ryan has been playing at a high level for the last 13 years,
Mhm.
and he's playing 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's playing well. He's playing within himself. And what he did uh, overseas, over the pond, a couple of weeks ago was phenomenal. He spread the ball around to the athletes and with the ball in their hands. He played smart. He understood what he wanted to do. That's the qualities of a good quarterback. So I don't understand what more that others want to see from Matt Ryan besides winning the championship, but he can't do it by himself.
Right.
Can't do it by himself.
Yeah, I was listening. It was one of the national media shows, and they were comparing quarterbacks, but I didn't even hear his name come up. And
Hmm.
I'm like, he's not this year. He's playing as one of the top quarterbacks. Like you said, 10
Right.
touchdowns, 3 picks. He's doing great. He's
Yeah.
kept us in the games. And as you
Yes.
said, if we was to lose Matt Ryan, we can cancel it. You might as well
Might
go
as well-
through the whole
Season
season.
over with.
It's
Yeah,
over.
you might as well continue playing fantasy football with your organization.
Yeah.
Oops, did I say that out loud? Here's the thing. It is here we are. What we're going to week 7, week
Mhm.
6 with week 7, whatever it is with the Falcons. And as I said when we first started this, you should know where you are, who you are by now.
Yeah.
So for this team, every other day, bringing somebody in, releasing somebody, putting them on the practice squad, bringing them up to the active roster, whatsoever, I feel it kills chemistry.
Yes.
Whenever you bring new guys in a locker room, you take out a piece of chemistry and put in something new.
Mhm.
And that bothers a locker room, which people probably don't understand. It bothers a locker room because understand this. Say if a guy's there for 3 weeks, even if he's on a practice squad, you become friends with him. He's
Mhm.
part of the team, he's part of the culture, and then he's out and somebody else comes along, and now you have to
Start
3 4 weeks to get to know this guy all over
over.
again. So it creates a little uncomfortability in that locker room because you don't know who's coming or who's going because
Mhm.
you don't know if they're going to release somebody off the active roster and pull somebody from the practice squad. So you don't know. So I feel playing this mix and match game with the practice squad and bringing, I think to me is a distraction. I
Mhm.
don't know if other teams are doing it across the league, which I don't care if they're doing it, but I would like for it at this point in the season for it to stop with us and we just play with what we have. And if anything disastrous happens, I hope we have those guys on the practice squad that can come up, step in, and play well.
Yeah, because we are thin, but I don't know why they've been playing musical practice squad and bringing people up and down. But
Yeah, playing like fantasy football to me. It's like fantasy football. I'm in the fantasy league, and every week I'm looking, mixing, changing. Who can I
Mhm.
add? Who can I take off? This and that to try to win one football game.
Mhm.
Here's the thing: it's you don't get the ribbon after week 6.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? It's a
we got a
long haul.
long
So,
season.
so you got to solidify your team right now and decide who you're going to be and build on that, preach on that, teach on that, and create that culture on that and become a good football team.
Well, What do you think about the other quarterback in Carolina? They're starting to slide a little bit now. They had a
Well,
hot start.
Sam Darnold,
Yeah.
he was rated above Matt Ryan
Oh
also,
goodness.
by the way. Well, they're starting to slide because they don't have McCaffrey.
CMC. Yeah.
I think McCaffrey is the key for them to be successful. If he's on the field, um, I think they have opportunity to win. He presents matchup problems with people, not only just running the football, but coming out of the backfield, catching the ball. And, the defense can do oh so much. The defense is still playing well, but he has weapons offensively. I don't know what they're doing. They're just not uh, on all the cylinders right now. It's just something here it is. You get excited about a season and you come out and you win and people start talking about you.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're a young football team, a young coaching staff with a young quarterback, you get comfortable. So you lose that little edge a little bit that you had earlier because when you're young, you in the NFL, you do the same things over and over and over again. There's
Yeah.
no change. Over and over and over again. It's the same thing. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's the same thing. Maybe Tuesday, not so much because that's national NFL day off.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things that if you're a young guy, you can get kind of complacent and bored with that. And may not be practicing as hard, may not be studying as long, may not be paying attention in the film room or the meeting rooms as much because you're going, yeah, I heard this, we've done this, blah, blah, blah. But as a professional, every day you got to have a goal in mind. What am I going to practice for? I used to have a list of at least 10 things that I wanted to accomplish in practice. Mm-hmm. And I will list them down. And then on that night meeting, after looking at the film, I go back in my notebook and I put a check for everything that I accomplished, if I accomplished it or not. And if I didn't accomplish it, it goes on the next day's list. So I went out to practice with a purpose, not just to practice. It was things that I knew I needed to work on to be good and be the best that I can on Sunday. And I think some of these, that's the way you have to practice. If you want to be a professional for a long time, you just can't just go out there and just go through the motions because that's what you do. You got to find a way to make each day better than the last.
Well, do you think that they've been practicing the return game? Because in the second half, the return unit continues to let up key yardage, if not a touchdown, right out the gate. And that seems to be an issue that it's just on the either opening kickoff or the one from the second half. And you play special teams in New York. Yeah. What can they do differently, or do they need more veteran guys playing on special teams, or is it?
Well, kickoff coverage for one is an attitude of you have to want to do it. Mm-hmm. It's not one where hey, I'm gonna put you on and you go down and you go, okay. It's one that you want to be on. You have to want to be on that kickoff team because you got to get down there flying 40 yards, 45 yards, breaking down, shielding off blocks and going to make tackles. It's something you get. It's either you want to or you don't. Yeah. And that's when it comes down to kickoff team. And you have to find guys that want to do it. And then when it comes down later in the season and games start to matter, you'll start to see some of the starters playing on kickoff coverage. Mm-hmm. Right now, if we continue to keep getting gashed, I know when I played, some starters, right? Like, hey, coach, I go down there and make a tackle. Yeah. Because they knew how important it was. And I think you'll see that happening if we continue to struggle on kickoff coverage.
Okay, yeah, that's something that has definitely crossed my mind, and I hope that they can get that rectified. The Falcons were the only ones on the bye in our division, the Saints as well. And like you said, they seem to be catching a little stride behind Jameis of late.
Yeah, well, people don't. Here's the thing. you listen to the naysayers and say, hey, he's a bust. He can't play. Blah blah blah. He had 30 interceptions. He had 30 touchdowns, but he threw for over 4,000 yards.
Mhm.
Blah blah blah. Okay, and people say, well, he this. That's why they shipped him out of Tampa. Okay, yeah, whatever. But he's that good enough to start for the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
Sean Payton believes in him enough that he's the starter for the New Orleans Saints. And he's playing well. He's playing extremely well. He's playing within himself, he's playing within the system. And that's all they ask him to do. And if he can do that with Kamara and some of the other guys, uh, that's on that perimeter,
Yeah.
they're gonna be just fine. The defense is outstanding. We know how outstanding that defense is, especially that front. So they're gonna continue, they're gonna continue to get better and better. And the thing for us, we just got to stay on everybody's hip, and just wait for them to trip up.
You're
You
right.
know, and then if we do that, we haven't. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You want to go out and win a division for sure.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Get into the second season. Once you get into the second season, all bets are off, and you never know what's going to happen. And that's the key. You're trying to get into this. And how you get into the second season, William, you play one game it's a 1 game season.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 1 game. If you take every game like it's a 1 game season, and have a sense of urgency saying we can't afford to lose this game and be 2 or 3 games back.
Yeah.
Now you're playing at a high level. But if you're going, we can afford to lose 2 or 3, we'll still be in it. But no, you can't look at the schedule and say, this is a winnable game. This is a winnable, this is a toss-up. You can't look at it that way.
Yeah.
We can look at it that way because we're
Yes.
not playing. But as a player and as a coaching staff, as an organization, you can't look at it that way.
And I'm glad you said that, because I will look at it like that. Listen, now the Falcons are only 1 game back of the Saints, and I guess you could say the Panthers as well. But
Right.
the Panthers already have 3 losses, which the Falcons do as well. So the Falcons handle business. But those 2 teams that we did lose to, aside from Tampa, Washington and Philadelphia,
Right.
they already have 4 losses. So
Right.
they are already blew their little tiebreaker, as long as we continue to win or beat our opponents in front of us.
Yeah. We're right in it. We're as I said, we're right in it. Remember, I tweeted out before they went over to the pond, I said the Falcons season starts right now.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with this game. Whatever happens in the past, you have to win 80% of the rest of them to have an opportunity to be playing in the second season.
And speaking of that second season, the NFL announced that they're going to be having a wild card weekend, a super wild card weekend is what they call it. Yeah. And Monday, it'll be the first time they have a Monday night wild card game. What do you think about it? How would you like to play it?
I like it. I like it because look, that time of year is the most exciting time of the year in the NFL, because you win or go home.
Mm-hmm.
And it's who wouldn't want to play Saturday, Sunday, Monday? I would be one of them teams that want to play Monday, because I know that I'm the only thing on TV is Monday. So I think it's great. I love it.
Well, from a good thing you love, what about the taunting that's going on right now? These penalties they're calling for taunting. It's really starting to be a decider. I can't think of the game before last weekend that had a major taunting penalty late in the game that kind of played a huge role. I mean, I know the players have to take ownership, but I think some of it is just a little ticky-tack to me personally.
Well, it is. Some of it is ticky-tack, William. But here's the thing. And people gonna say, well, you soft, blah, blah, blah. I have not a soft bone in my body. If you think I'm soft, you've never seen me play before.
Yeah.
But you have never seen me trash talk before. You have never seen me taunt before. I've been taunted. I've been trash talked too. And here, at the end of the day, for me, I always ask the question, why? Why are you talking to me like that? Why are you what are you doing that for? Do you think that's going to take me out of my game? Do you think that bothers me in any kind of way when you do that? And that's my say on it. So, my whole thing is, you know, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna disrespect you as a professional man that's trying to do your job during a game situation. I'm not gonna do that.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, when I catch a ball and break a tackle and get a first down or whatsoever, I'm doing my job.
Mhm.
I'm doing my job. If once you break up a ball or knock a ball out of my hand whatsoever, you're doing your job. That's what you're paid to do. Now, when you break up a ball, or I'm gonna go to myself, if
Yeah.
I catch a ball, break a tackle whatsoever, and I kind of run over somebody and he falls and I stand up over him, why?
Mhm.
And that don't make me better than you because I ran you over, because guess what? You're gonna get me. You're gonna get me because I just did that. You're gonna get me. So you're gonna, my whole thing is I'm gonna treat you professional, treat me professional. I think here it is. It's not such so much the taunting.
Mhm.
They just call it taunting. Here's what they're trying to control: the trash talking that goes to a different level.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to stop. Because if those mics were hot on the field and some of the things that they say to each other, you would think that they hated each other to the core of the root of their soul.
Mhm.
And that's just part, has been part of the NFL forever. But here's the difference. Back in the day when things were said and things were done, guess what we were doing? We were hugging at the end of the game. See you,
Yeah.
hey man, see you at your golf tournament. Hey man, I see you at your charity event. Hey man, hey, we're gonna be in, we live in the same city. Let's go eat some dinners, smoke cigars, whatever it may be. Today, it it trickles off the field.
Yeah.
You know, it's a real disdain, dislike for another guy, in which I don't get. I don't get.
Did you happen to see yesterday Aaron Rodgers when he scored that final touchdown against the Bears?
I knew you was gonna bring that up today.
I
I
like
knew you was
I
gonna bring
liked
that
that
up.
trash talk. I'm really not mad at that.
I'm not mad at that because it was funny to me.
Yes,
it
it
was
was.
it was funny because he was like, I own you. I
Yeah.
always own you.
Don't you all my
It was,
life.
yeah, it was to the fans more than it was to the players.
Yes,
So
correct. Yeah.
because it was a comeback for when he got pushed and he
Hmm.
did his
Yeah.
bell, and they was trash talking in his ear and
Yeah.
calling him you. They
Yeah.
probably called him all explicitives, and he just turned around and said, "I own you."
Yeah.
And that was the coolest comeback that you can give when somebody's trash talking to you and you just beat them.
Yes.
I own you. Or, back in the day, we say, hey, man, look at the clock.
Yeah.
Look at the scoreboard.
Look at the scoreboard.
So basically that's what he said, but he took it
Mhm.
to a different level. And I didn't have any issue with that. The only issue I had with it, William, is that you had to amplify that sound to hear that. And
Yeah.
somebody wanted people to hear it, and they wanted to 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 stir up some mess, pretty
Yeah.
much, with him saying. That's the only problem I had with that. And if it would have been reported that, did you hear what Aaron Rodgers said? Let's take a listen, and
Yeah.
then leave it at that. You and I'd have started laughing, But I'm like, come on, you following him around, you making sure you hear what else he has to say. You trying to hear something else that you can use to help your ratings.
Hmm.
And that's one thing I don't like, right there. But I love what he did. It was funny to me. I didn't, at the end of the
Even as
day, if you don't want to hear it, stop talking trash to him.
Yeah, even as a fan, I respected that. I was like, that's cold
Yeah,
blooded because it's
yeah, it
true.
was.
They
It was
do.
cold. It was.
I was like,
I
look at the
mean,
stats he puts up against the Bears.
I know,
He owns y'all.
I know. But
Stop
you
it
know
if you
what?
don't want him to do it.
Here's the thing: we beat the Saints in Carolina twice. That last game, we beat the Saints. I would love for Matt Ryan to run off the field and say, "Y'all were my child this season."
Yeah.
You the baby.
Yes.
Look, no, like I'm your baby daddy.
Hopefully, Matt will be able to say that this year.
I's the pappy.
Yeah. Hopefully the Falcons will get the best of Tampa Bay. I mean, both of them, but especially those Saints. What do you got for us today?
You know what? I was in church yesterday, and the pastor said something that was so profound that I said, I can't wait to share this. Mm-hmm. He said, in today's society, even in America, across the world, is that we have our own truth. We all want people to believe what we believe in and believe in our truth. And he says, you know, when you hear something or somebody tells you something, you take it in and you believe that is true. And then you start spilling it out and saying it's true. And then when somebody doesn't agree with your truth, you get mad with them, get upset with them because they don't believe your truth. Everybody has their own truth, but there's only one truth, and that's the word of God. That's the true truth. If you want to know how your life is going, what's happened in your past, what's happening now in your life, what's going to happen in your future, read that word. Read that Bible, read the word of God, and it tells you your whole life story and where you're going to be. It depends on how you act and the things that you do, not what man does or what man says, or pandemics or unemployment or whatever it is, the economy, whatever it is, does not depend on your future. It's the word of God and what you believe that he says what your future is.
All right. Thank you, T.
Yeah, man.
Everybody, make sure you subscribe to Atlanta Sports Unlimited and go to Prize Picks and put in ASU for Atlanta Sports Unlimited. And Braves, keep going. Let's win this.
Yes,
win this, Braves.
Oh, man. This is their year. This is the year.
I agree. I feel it.
Yes.
Let's go. Have a good day, everybody.
Yeah, man. Peace out.